the enemy is after your voice, okay? The enemy does not want you to speak. The enemy does not want you to share an encouraging word. The enemy does not want you to lay hands and pray for someone. The enemy does not want that. He wants to keep you silent. What's up? It's Johanna with God is Glamorous, where we learn how to live our best lives through Jesus Christ. And today, we are going to learn how to get over our fear of public speaking. So there is no question that the world's greatest fear, amongst any other fear, is a fear of speaking in public. And do you think that's a coincidence? Absolutely not. Because according to Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21, it says that life and death are in the power of the tongue. And did you know that what you speak has the ability to break chains? It has the ability to set people free. It has the ability to lead people closer to Jesus Christ. And it has the ability and the potential to inspire and impact someone and just to do things greater than you even thought were possible. So undoubtedly, the enemy is after your voice, okay? The enemy does not want you to speak. The enemy does not want you to share an encouraging word. The enemy does not want you to lay hands and pray for someone. The enemy does not want that. He wants to keep you silent. And he's done that successfully, okay? But today is the day that we're going to break past the fear of speaking once and for all. And the best way that I know how to do this is by taking a look at some examples in the Bible. So we are going to be studying from the book of Exodus and how Moses was able to overcome his fear of public speaking. So we all know that Moses is one of the greatest prophets of all time. However, he was still afraid in the beginning to do what God called him to do, which was to speak to Pharaoh and free the Israelites out of Egypt. And some of the excuses that he gave to God, I can guarantee you, may also be some of the excuses that you have given to God as to why you are not able to speak. But today we're going to break that today, all right? So the first reason as to why Moses was unable to speak or felt fearful about speaking to Pharaoh was because he was insecure. So when God asked him to speak to Pharaoh to free the Israelites, he specifically said, "Who am I that I should be able to speak to Pharaoh?" Check this verse out. So in Exodus chapter 3, verse 11, Moses says, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" Does that sound familiar? When God may say, "Start that YouTube channel, I need you to speak to my people. Start that podcast, I need you to speak to my people. Get on camera on Instagram and TikTok, I need you to speak to my people." And you may say, "Who am I to do that?" Get out of that. So in Exodus chapter 3, verse 12, God says, "I will be with you." So even though you may feel so small, you may feel like you don't have it all together and people may not want to listen to you, you are enough because God is with you. So get over that fear. You are not too small. You serve an amazing, tremendous, incredible God who is going to be with you, holding your hand through this entire process. So don't ever question yourself in saying, "Who are you?" anymore. You have a God right there with you, walking with you to do this. So you got this, all right? All right, the second reason why you may be afraid to speak in public is because you may feel as though you are not eloquent enough. And this is what Moses felt as well, all right? In fact, Moses actually had a speech impediment. However, he was able to push past this, all right? This is what Moses said. So in Exodus chapter 4, verse 10, Moses says, "Pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue." All right, so his points were valid, all right? Moses had a very, very slow speech. He wasn't able to talk super fast or be super charismatic. It didn't matter, okay? This is what God told Moses. So in Exodus chapter 4, verse 11, this is what God says. He says, "Who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord?" So although you may be saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm not eloquent enough, I'm not charismatic, I don't have this super bubbly personality," God's saying, "I made your mouth. I made your personality. I made you who you are today. Get rid of all the excuses. I got your back, all right? If you need help with anything, turn to God and ask God, and He will be faithful to nurture you and prune those talents and to get you to do what He's called you to do, okay? Because you were made for His purpose and His glory." All right, and even after Moses gave God all these specific reasons as to why he could not speak eloquently to Pharaoh, he then asked God to send someone else. And this may oftentimes be like you as well. When God's telling you to get on camera, get that YouTube video up and running, get that podcast started, and you're like, "God, you know what? Please just send someone else." This really gets God upset. And this is what happens with Moses as well. So check this verse out. So in Exodus chapter 4, verse 13, Moses says, Pardon your servant, Lord. Please send someone else. Does that sound familiar? Have you been asking God, please send someone else? But this is what happens when you do that. So in the next verse, it says, the Lord's anger burns against Moses. Do you want God's anger burning against you? Do you want someone to give you a gift that you paid a lot of money for, and they're like, you know what, I don't want this gift, give it to someone else? That'll make you really angry and upset. And that's the same thing that happens when God gives you the gifts and the ability to speak and you don't take it. All right, so this is what happens after that excuse that Moses gave God. So God says, what about your brother Aaron, the Levite? I know he can speak well. He is already on his way to meet you, and he will be glad to see you. All right, so even still, after God was angry that Moses made this excuse and to call someone else, he said, I'm sending you your brother here to be with you. He will be happy to see you. So even if you need an extra push, understand that God has already equipped you with people in your circle to help you. Maybe you have a really awesome sister or an awesome brother or a friend who can really push you into what God has called you to do, all right? So I hope this helps you get over your fear of public speaking. I promise you have so much power and so much potential in your voice. As mentioned earlier in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So do not shrink back in fear, and don't let the enemy win. He wants you to be silent, but you have so much to say. So please, 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 get over your fear of public speaking. And if you need a community of women to support you and push you into your greater purpose, make sure to join the Glam Fam. You can download the app. We're on both the Apple Store and Google Play. And we cannot wait to connect with you, all right? So thank you all so much for watching. If you are a new subscriber, hi, welcome. Be sure to subscribe. I post videos every single week. And other than that, I will see you next week, all right? Thanks so much for watching, and stay glamorous.